Hi, welcome back to my channel. This week we're discussing how to create borders for your maps. This first border I'm drawing here draws on vintage and antique maps, where this sort of alternate coloured bar was used to show scale around the exterior of the map. I use it purely for decorative reasons, and so you can use this a lot of different ways if you're going purely decorative. You can use a standard sort of border around the outside, like my first one, that's black, white. You can make it a bit thinner if you want a more delicate look. You can make it thinner with the bars, the black and white bars being a little bit longer. And sometimes I like to draw bars around the outside of it, so it's sort of like a border within a border, which makes it a bit more decorative. So there's your very classic style, which you'll find on a lot of illustrated maps. Of course, you can go entirely without a border as well, and that's sometimes a good idea depending on the look you want to achieve. I mostly like to draw borders because the way my mind works is that I like to have a limit to my page, and so I really enjoy drawing the borders. I also really like decorating them. So this one I'm drawing here, you can actually make your borders more pertinent to the map itself. So for example, if you're drawing an area and in that area there is a lot of a particular type of flower, then you can do that. So I've got daisies here, maybe that's to do with the English countryside or otherwise. So find what's pertinent to your map and maybe use that sometimes. One of the maps I've done in the past was a map for a teacher who was retiring, and he was in charge of a team of 43 people, and so I drew 43 little figures around the outside of the map, and that was my border. So yeah, choose something that's pertinent to you. This border that I'm working on right now, I based on antique picture frames. So you can go less literal and more decorative with patterns, and draw your inspiration from lots of different places. You might also notice that on that particular border, I actually use cutouts to give it a more dynamic shape, a more dynamic and interesting shape. In this border I'm drawing here, I've used it a few times, this device a few times. You can draw a wider border and then feature important parts of the map down the border. So for example, I drew a map of Norfolk for Ellie Griffith's series of books, and then around the outside I drew all the important buildings, just because it would have been difficult to have the buildings in the centre because they would have run down the binding of the book and you wouldn't have seen them. So I put them around the outside. So I'm just demonstrating that here, how you could do it. I've also done this technique in a map which I did for the author S.G. McLean, a historical map, and I've also used this technique in a map I did for Steph Penny for Beasts of Paris. And Beasts of Paris had a lot of buildings in it and things they wanted to specifically pick out, and they would have all fallen in the middle of the book down the gutter where the binding is. So we chose to put them around the outside of the border. You can see that on my website, I'll link to it below. So I'm just showing you here how I did that. You can use flowers that are important to the area. You can draw people that are important, and I did that in a map for Goldsborough Books in London, and I drew the owners of the bookstore in, and it's a really nice way of bringing in really personalised details. So it's really up to you how you want to draw your map. Maybe it's just a practical decision. You can't fit that many locations on the map itself, and so you need to put them around the outside. Or maybe it's purely decorative and you really like the way that looks. Don't forget, you can vary those. I use circles, you can vary those shapes, squares, diamonds, ovals, whatever whatever you like really. You can shade in the gaps, you can leave them blank, you can add leaves or flowers or more decorative elements. It's really up to you. Do you want your map to be more simple, or would you like it more intricate? Is how you want your map to feel. So here I wanted to show you as well that they don't just have to be confined within 2 lines. I wanted to draw an almost like a twisted pole, a carved pole here, and so I wanted to show you how to do that and how that might look if you're using different shapes in your border. I've seen borders that have little buildings drawn all the way around them. I've seen borders with fish and animals that create the border, with water. I've just seen very, very simple single line borders as well, and borders delineated just by colour, so without any lines at all. You just have sort of blue around the outside and then the map itself is white maybe. So there's lots of different borders you can go for, and I just want to show you a few of them here so you have some ideas for your own map. One other thing is you can incorporate the title block into the border as well. So if you don't have room for a title block, for example, you can incorporate that in the border. So this banner here that I'm drawing, you can see how it could be used for perhaps the top of the border, and then within that you can write the name of the map or where the map is or whatever information you want to include in your title block. And I've used that technique in a map I did for Andrew Caldecott for the College of Novelties, which is in his book Simul. And I used that within border title block technique there, as you can see on my website. Lastly, I just wanted to talk about shape of the border. So you don't just have to have a uniform size of border all the way around, like in that top example. You can do a thicker top and bottom border and thinner side borders, or you can do a thicker side border and leave the top border thinner. I largely decide on this based on the shape of the map, as I discussed in my previous videos, showing you how to lay out your map. So I just wanted to show you the top one is usually better for that alternate colour border that I drew first. The second one is usually quite handy if you need further information included in the border, the second and third ones, because they're thicker. And then the fourth one, if you're going for something a lot more decorative with a lot more elements, then you're going to need a thicker border, and that gives you more freedom as well. So you want to do your thicker border all the way around the outside. And that's where I'm finishing the video for today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out my other videos on how to draw illustrated maps, which go into detail on how to draw each element. Let me know what you think. Pop some comments down below, any questions, let me know, and let me know if there's anything more interesting I can cover later. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next video.